washed up after a container ship capsized. It made quite a spectacle for residents, brought to the beach by the unmistakable smell of damp pine.
I never envisioned it being this high and this scale. It's a fantastic scale of timber.
It's just incredible how much there is all the way across.
I suppose in some respects it's better that it's wood as opposed to oil. If it'd been oil, then obviously that would have been a lot worse for the environment and for Worthing.
For others, this was timber galore, a chance to salvage or scavenge what they could. This man, for one, fancied some new floorboards.
I'm going to go on web when I get home and find out who's actually handling this one. Let them know that I've got 12 pieces of their timber, and if they'd like to come and pick it up in the next couple of weeks, they're very welcome to it.
And in the past few minutes, timber from this beach has started to appear on eBay. Yet police are warning people to stay away. Anyone who doesn't report their catch to the receiver of wrecks can be fined over £2,000.
It's not a case of finders keepers, it's not a free-for-all. This wood does belong to somebody and the owner is assessing it so that they can have their property returned.
The container ship, the Ice Prince, was en route to Egypt, travelling past Portland Bill in Dorset. Then, nearly a week ago, it capsized. Its crew airlifted to safety. Its cargo, 2,000 tonnes of untreated timber, drifted east and washed up on beaches all the way from Selsey Bill to Beachy Head. The official salvage operation is expected to last 2 weeks at least. The priority today is to move the timber above the tide line so it doesn't get swept out to sea again. And scavengers may be disappointed. These contractors say the waterlogged wood is good for nothing except pulped into paper or sawdust.
Cargo ship. The timber fell off the Ice Prince when she got in trouble off the Dorset coast last week. Worthing has been hardest hit, but up to 10 miles of coastline are affected. And now the clear-up operation is underway. Well, Robert Hall is right there. Robert.
Yes, indeed, Sophie. And if you're a beachcomber along what can be a stormy south coast, you're probably used to finding all sorts of weird and wonderful things on the beach, but never anything quite like this. It's been coming ashore for the last couple of days. People here have been talking about the sound it made as it began crashing against the piers here in Worthing and further up to Brighton. It extends as far as Beachy Head and almost back to Portsmouth as we head west. Somebody earlier today coined the expression, and I don't make any excuse for using it again. It was virtually a tidal wave of timber.
For mile after mile, the shoreline's been transformed, a shifting raft of timber stretching from Selsey Bill to Worthing. When the Ice Princess sank off Portland Bill last Tuesday, she was carrying just under 3,000 tonnes of sawn timber. Stormy conditions and the powerful channel currents have accelerated the journey eastward.
I was standing on the Lido Walk, which is behind me, and this stuff was banging up underneath it. It was creaking and groaning, and it was... and with the lights of the pier in the back of it, you had all these fingers of timber sticking up. It was quite impressive.
On Worthing Beach, contractors hired by the Ice Prince's owners have been working between the tides to shift wood to the high water mark. Eventually, it'll be offered for sale, but until that happens, the timber remains a target for scavengers.
Are we going to leave it on the beach for the wildlife to get fouled up on? And it's just litter, really, isn't it? So I'm going to burn it. I'm going to keep us warm.
I thought it might have all been gone by now anyway. But it's just a job to put them in loft.
But today, those succumbing to temptation were warned that it could be a costly mistake.
We had an awful lot of people coming down here with vans trying to load up with timber and take it away. And what I would like to say to them is that it's not a free-for-all. This is not a case of finders keepers. The owners already have a salvage contract in place, and those salvors are on scene now with their heavy plant equipment removing the timber.
With even more of the cargo yet to make landfall, the loss of the Ice Prince is likely to present local authorities with a major headache for several days to come.
Yeah, not just a headache here. There's still timber out at sea. The Coast Guard have been monitoring it, but the stormy conditions have brought their flights down for the time being. There is extreme danger, of course, to those using small craft, and that warning's gone out. There's still concern about the timber and the oil left on the Ice Prince, and a survey's being carried out. They're still trying to work out what needs to be done to the vessel, which is some 60 foot down, to make it safe. Sophie, back to you.
Robert, thank you very much. And as we've seen through
20 sailors were rescued from the stricken ship in stormy seas this time last week. Well, the wood slick has since washed up at Selsey, Bognor, Worthing and is now affecting beaches as far east as Kent. Our reporter Roger Finn is on one of the affected beaches. In a moment, we'll join him for the very latest. But first, let's take a look at some of the images from this weekend which you've been sending in to us. Thanks first to Laura Ford for this shot of Worthing Beach. And here's another angle, this time from Chris Lane. Meanwhile, Margaret Grundy sent us in this photograph. Thank you, Margaret. Shoreham Beach is also now closed. Michael Bowden took this picture and Karen Clark captured this scene at East Preston Beach. Thanks very much indeed for all of those. So let's join Roger now, who is in Worthing. Roger, what's the latest?
Well, Alan, we all knew it was coming, but who would have thought its arrival would be so dramatic? Giant splinters covering some 90 miles of coastline. One of the fears has been sensitive sites, like Climping, for instance, but the real mass of the timber has come ashore here at Worthing, and giant diggers have been moving it from the shoreline back up here so that the stormy conditions don't wash it back out again. And so far, the authorities reckon they've got it under control.
What do you do with 2,000 tonnes of timber littering the Sussex coast from Bracklesham Bay all the way to Hastings? For the man coordinating the clean-up, it's quite a headache.
The main concern, obviously, is the safety of the people of Sussex. We really do ask that the people of Sussex don't go down onto the beach. This wood's good for nothing. It just needs to be cleaned up. Let our contractors down there with their heavy equipment to do so. People going down onto the beach, unfortunately, will get in the way. It is loose stuff, people could get injured. We really don't want to see that happen.
After the Napoli disaster, the authorities are making sure that this situation does not turn into a wrecker's free-for-all, but some have slipped through the net.
We have had numerous reports of people going down and helping themselves to wood. Right from the little old lady with her Zimmer frame through to guys, a number of guys in a large truck going down and helping themselves. Would like to emphasise that the receiver of wreck from the Coast Guard has said that this is salvage. It is not a free-for-all. She has asked the police to police this. People are subject to arrest and fine if they are caught doing so.
In some ways, it's lucky that most of the timber has ended up here, where access is easy and it's going to be easy to clear it away. The responsibility for getting rid of it lies with the owners and their insurers. The council are anxious to point out that they will not have to pay a penny to have this removed. Later on today, the trucks will be here to begin the long task of carting this lot away. Back to you, Alan.
Roger.